10 moves. 10 moves is all that it took for Praggnanandhaa to be in a winning position against the most talented American player. How does this boy do it? Well, let's have a look at his game. So Praggnanandhaa was white against Awonder Liang, and Liang is known as truly a prodigy. He is one of the most talented youngsters in the world, a grandmaster at the age of 14, youngest in America. But Pragg has had a good score against him in the past, and once again with white he was extremely confident and started off with e4. So you might remember he played knight f3, g3 in the previous games, but this time he says let's go for e4. And I need to tell you the situation which I was in yesterday when the game began at 7:30 in the evening. It was my father's birthday and we were at a restaurant celebrating it, and amidst all the food and chatter and everything, my father asks me suddenly, what happened to Praggnanandhaa's game? And this anecdote itself shows my father is a hobby chess player. He follows the games of many players, but not a hardcore chess fan. So in his birthday, with his family around him, he still thinks about Pragg, which means that this boy has truly struck a chord with the Indian population in a way, chess population in India, and even the general population. And people are curious to know what's happening to him, and it's wonderful that he is keeping us interested by winning his games at the World Junior and moving towards his goal of becoming the youngest GM in the world. So Praggnanandhaa versus Liang was once again a gioco piano, Italian game, and d3. Now, a few years ago, I was one of those guys who would hate watching the gioco piano. The knight is on f3, this guy also has knight on f3, my pawn is on e4, he also has a pawn on e4, my bishop is on c4. What exactly is going on? So much symmetry in the game. I would say no. I show me some Sicilian, or show me French or Caro-Kann. I need some imbalance. But you need to experience it. You need to play it in order to feel this the e4 e5 opening. It cannot be felt by just watching. It's like maybe you're driving a Honda City or Jazz or maybe Maruti Suzuki or some cars like these, and suddenly you start driving a Mercedes or a BMW. That's what e4 e5 is all about. If you want to truly play a solid opening with black, it's e4 e5. It's smooth, and that's why a lot of top players in the world prefer it. So let's try to understand the intricacies in the position. After d3, bishop b3 was played by Pragg, and here instead of castle, which would be the normal move, he pinned the bishop with bishop g5. Pinned the knight with bishop g5. h6 could have been possible, but Liang played bishop e6, and here knight bd2. Now I have seen many games where h6 is played, and also some other moves have been tried, let's say rook e8 or a6 and stuff, but bishop b3. Now this is a move very lightly made by the American. Why to let your opponent develop his queen to b3 after queen into b3? It makes absolutely no sense, and it attacks the pawn on b7. Here Liang played bishop to b6. Once again Pragg played knight c4, and as I had said before, the boy believes in maximizing his opportunities. A dull player or a player who doesn't like to calculate would have castled. Nothing wrong with this move, position is still wonderful. But knight c4, now you're putting pressure. This knight is putting pressure on the bishop, this bishop is putting pressure on the knight. So white is in some kind of an aggressive position. Now this was a very important move for black because already he is under some pressure. He had to make a move like rook b8. Now this means that he can remove his bishop, let's say at some point, or play something like knight a5 and b7 would be defended. But again, rook b8, I found a very interesting move. I would like you to pause the video and think for a while to find what is a good move for white here. Yes, the right move here is queen d1, and very cleverly you are going to play b4 a4 and force black to play a6 at some point when you can actually take. So something like a6, you can take and ruin the structure, and then a very important move a4 to clamp down these pawns, you know, it's fixed them. So rook b8 was lesser evil, yet you would be in trouble if Praggnanandhaa finds queen d1. But Awonder, I think he was completely out of sorts. He played queen e7. Now this move is just loosely made. a4, your Praggnanandhaa is not going to leave you now. a5 is coming, and the thing is, if you, after knight d8, which was played defending b7, a very smart move was castles. I like this play. I can also ask you and recommend you to calculate the complications after the move a5, bishop c5, and would you make the move d4? It looks silly, but it's not. You know, after d4 takes, Pragg most probably didn't go for this variation because of queen e4 check, but you just bring your bishop back and suddenly this guy here is trapped. There are some more complications with bishop d4, knight d4, maybe taking on g2, but white is coming out on top over there. But I like Pragg's choice here, castles, because he knows the bishop on b6 is kind of pushed to the wall. He doesn't have a way out. Now bishop c5 would be met with d4, so in trouble. And h6 was played by Awonder. He could have over here played bishop into f6, queen into f6 and a5, but after bishop c5, d4 is not coming through. The queen is defending d4 square. So Pragg played bishop h4, c6 had to be played. Something has to be done about the bishop, and knight b6, a b6, bishop into f6. Very smart move by Pragg. You know, you could have taken the pawn here, but then after g5 and knight e6, suddenly this bishop is kind of boxed in. So first get rid of your bishop, and now in this completely same material position, knight each and two rooks and queen, white is a pawn up. So you can say the rest is matter of technique for Pragg. We can just quickly go through some of the moves, and I'll stop on crucial moments. I think the way Pragg played was excellent. He made no real mistakes. d4 was nice, breaking in the center. I think here the critical moment was attacking the e5 pawn. Black could have played e4 here, but after knight d2, f5, f3, nice move breaking. I have a feeling that with these nice pawns on queen side, white should have no real problems. So knight to f3, ed4, queen d4 was played, taking the pawn and knight d4. So still everything is the same. White is a pawn up. Knight f5, and once again, like it happened with this move queen e7 that Liang played, he again made this move very lightly. Knight d3. He should have played rook 6 a7, controlling the e7 square, but after check and d5, it's over. You know, I'm just threatening to push your knight off and then push your rook off and win this pawn. Oops, the knight just jumped really far. Knight into b6, and it's over. You know, the game. So it's all over now. Rook a7. I think better would have been b5 when after knight c7, knight b4. This is still winning position for white. So rook a7, 6 a7, rook a3, and now Pragg is winning. 2 pawns up. Black tried to create some play, but it was never there in the position. The pawns kept rolling, and here if you take on f2, I take on c6. There is no perpetual check because my king just runs out from f1, e1 to d1 when the knight is defending the d2 square. So knight d4, rook a3. Now once a rook pair is exchanged, there's nothing doing. And here I would like you to pause and to think for yourself, how should white win in the most convincing manner. Yes, the right move was knight e5. I mean, why didn't Pragg play it? It's very surprising because it controls the square of the d4 knight, and b7 is just coming through. It would have been game over, yeah, but b7 was not good. This position, I would say, is winning. How do I say with such confidence? I will tell you in a separate video that I would make today, but this is winning. However, it takes a lot of efforts because first of all you need to pinpoint a weakness in black's camp, which is f7. You coordinate your knight and rook to attack it, then you push your pawns, you bring your king. It's going to be a huge task. So just quickly go through what happened in this game. You can see Pragg trying to maneuver, get his knights in, knight to a good dominating positions, then push his kingside pawns. This is still okay. I think the crucial mistake that Pragg made, and which is very surprising because he could have very well lost all his advantage here if black would have defended well. So this was a critical position. Black to play, what would you do? And right over here it was important to play the move rook e1 check, and if you play king f4, then g5 takes rook f, king f5, rook f1. I hope you calculated this because after king takes g5 you have f6 winning back the knight, drawn endgame, and after king e4 you have rook f5 and rook f4 winning back the pawn with a drawn. This is just a draw. I would have been so upset if that would have happened. And the other check after rook e1, king d4 is bad because of f6. Now the knight cannot take on g6 because of rook d1 check winning the rook, and if you were to move your knight to d3, which looks like the only other square, then rook h1. Now the h4 and g4 pawns are so weak, I don't see a way in which white can, white can put some pressure, but this is just a draw. So actually Awonder missed a drawing chance here. Knight e5 was not a good move by Pragg. Rook h1 was bad, and now knight f7. This is just simple stuff for Pragg. He went knight e4, knight e5. Now g6 is hanging. After g5, king e4, king comes in. You are getting rid of all the pawns, but the mating net closes in knight c6. Final move to finish off the game. What a nice victory. I would say bad technique. He could have just played knight e5 at this point instead of b7, but well, the opening went tremendously well for Pragg, and he managed to beat this talented American youngster. So how are we situated? It's related to the standings. Pragg is on 6.5 points out of 8, and Aryantari somehow managed to keep his half-point lead over the field with 7. He beat Oparin, and Pragg is on 6.5 along with another guy, Alexienko. Today Pragg plays the leader Aryantari with black, and the most crucial game of the tournament. If Pragg is able to beat Aryan with black, I think there would be no stopping him. And also today being the 9th round and Pragg having a rating performance of nearly 2750, it's certain that he has achieved his first GM norm. So getting a norm now is no longer a tension. He has made his first GM norm. the question now remains is whether he can win the championship.